Welcome. In front of me I have the brand new Samsung Galaxy S8 tablet, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a overview of the specs that we get with this kind of device. So let me quickly actually open this up just so I know what I'm looking at. There we go. Okay, so let's just pop it open. Obviously you can see, and with the size of this device, we are not getting any kind of charger in here. There we go. So nothing obviously in the box right here at the top. Then we get a fairly compact little tablet. I do like the size of this a little bit more than the S Plus or Ultra. I will show Ultra on the camera in a second. The comparison will probably look a little bit funny. Anyway, we got a pen. We got a charging cable. So charging cable is basically the same thing as this one. Exactly the same one, and some paperwork up here. So that's basically all we get in here. Just drop that to the side and go straight to the device. So I'm gonna power it on right away. If it's anything like the S8 Ultra, the setup will probably take 10 minutes, but hopefully it's not. So there we go. So quickly going into the specs right here of the display, because that's kind of what we start seeing right from the get-go. We are looking at 11-inch display with a resolution of 1600 by 2560 pixels, and let's quickly just choose a language. This is only a TFT display, unlike the other options which came with AMOLED, 120 Hz refresh rate, so at least that's nice, and 83.6% screen to body ratio with 274 pixels per inch. And again, a stupid Samsung idea that you need to connect to Wi-Fi when going to the setup. I literally just unboxed it, completely cut off the seals, and apparently I need to verify that I didn't steal this device. Stupid. Now the reason why I have a problem with this is because normally you need to provide your connect to network if there is a Google verification. Now obviously this device is brand spanking new. I shouldn't need to verify anything. And also I shouldn't need to restart the device. Samsung never ceases to surprise me. Now just to be fair, I also took a crap at Sony when their devices used to, and I highlight used to, need to reboot when you insert a SIM card. No other devices needed to do that, but now they fixed it. You don't need to reboot your device when popping in a SIM card. This needs to reboot by just setting up, which is even more ludicrous. There we go. So now hopefully we can finish it up. There we go, that was quick. Okay, so anyway, while this is setting up, I guess I'm gonna quickly go over the rest of the things. So right here we have a camera. This is a selfie camera at 12 megapixels, shoots at 4K 30-60 frames, which is quite surprising for a selfie cam. And at the back we have double camera setup. If I just flip this and flip it over, so you can see there 1 and 2, and we're looking at 13 megapixel wide sensor and 6 megapixel ultra wide, which the other ones, for instance like the Ultra, was running a 13 megapixel I believe wide one, and also a 6 megapixel ultra wide, though at the front it had double 12 megapixels wide and ultra wide. Why, I don't know, but that's basically what it had. So well, this is hopefully gonna finish up quickly. I can go over the next part, which is the specs of it. So we're looking at a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and in terms of storages we have 128 gigs with 8 gigs of RAM, 256 with 8 gigs of RAM, or 256 with 12 gigs of RAM. So if you go for the highest model, you get more RAM. Anything below the highest one has only increased in storage and not RAM. But unlike probably what you might be used to from Samsung, I believe, let's see, I believe there is a expandable storage like it was in S Plus and Ultra. And yep, there we go. So you can see right here, we have a SD expansion slot. So you can go with the lowest spec model here and pop in SD card and have more storage than you actually bought with the device. Props to Samsung for that. I really appreciate actual like expandable storage rather than just being locked into buying just the better version of it. So that's one super amazing part. And in terms of storage, it's a UFS. That's about it. Now, last as the battery size in here, and obviously it's the smallest one out of the 3 that were released at 8,000 milliamps. Now, 8,000 is a little bit stingy, to be honest, considering some phones, like normal phones, have like 6.5K batteries, so 8,000 is not that much bigger than just a phone. And just to compare that to a phone size, this is a phone in size comparison. This easily doubles or triples the size of a phone. As you can see, there we go. It triples the size of it. Components shouldn't really take that much more space unless they're really just going like not very in no order, just dropping them for some reason. So if a phone with barely any kind of bigger size, surface size right here, can fit something like a Snapdragon's and basically as much tech as this, there is no reason for the battery to be only at 8,000 milliamps. So just my thought here. And in terms of comparing it to other ones, the S8 Plus, I was rocking a 10,090 milliamp hour battery, so basically 2,000 more milliamps, and the S8 Ultra rocking, 11,200, so even bigger one. And just as before, we're looking at getting your tablet ready. What the hell can you be getting ready for past 5 minutes? I am a little bit frustrated with this because I did a setup of S8 Plus, the tab, and it was going just fine. But now I did the unboxing of the Ultra and this one, and damn does the getting your tablet ready feels like an absolute chore. What could it be getting ready? Spyware? Now, at this point, usually I would be just looking at the device once I ran through all the specs. But because apparently Samsung decided to make the setup an absolute abomination, I literally went through all the specs of the device and I have nothing else to say about it apart from waiting for it to actually finish up the setup just so you can see the display, and that's about it. Now, one thing that I can do right now is compare it to the Ultra. Let me just grab it. Oh, wow, look at that, it's allowing me to finish up the setup. Yay! Finally! Look at that. Okay, so there we go. There's our home screen. Let's max out the brightness just so you can kind of see. There we go. The display brightness seems to be fairly similar to the Ultra, which uses a Super AMOLED display. This one uses a TFT, so worst one, or worse in quality, but still brightness does get fairly bright. So there we go. Now, one thing that I do realize is the wallpapers. The default wallpapers do look different between the models that you pick. This one has a brown tint to it, unless this is just the brightness of the display making it look brown, but I kind of doubt it. While this one actually has a black one. Now, this is the time that I can actually bring this onto the screen. I'm gonna move this to this like this. There we go. And yeah, there we go. That's the size comparison to these two devices. So as you can see, this is a huge difference in size. This is a 14-inch or 14.6 inch, while this is just 11. Now that like 3 inches does apparently make a huge difference, which is what she said. So yeah, there we go. This feels like almost a TV or a monitor in hand. Whipping this around, I feel like I'm carrying a monitor. So yeah, just a little bit of a kind of like a weird feeling to here. But yeah, this one is obviously more fitting in hand. It's still going to be bigger than like the, as an example, something that comes to my mind would be iPad mini. It was one of the smaller devices, but I believe it was still smaller than this. So if you're looking for something really small and powerful, you might want to look into Apple if you don't mind it. For people that want powerful and Android or a little bit bigger, obviously you have choices from Samsung right here, from the S8, S8 Plus, and S8 Ultra. Now, like I showed you, what I showed you right here, this absolute monitor right here with a notch for some reason. You can kind of see it right here. There we go. This is the biggest one at 14.6. And I don't actually have one to the middle one, the plus one, with me. I couldn't find it at the job to compare it with this one in size. So anyway, this does conclude the overview or spec look at this little tablet right here. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.